Hi, my name is Amber, and welcome to Sunday Reset with the Momentary. I am a teacher over at Cocoon Yoga Lab at A Street Market, which is just across the lawn that way. We would love to see you there. Um, so we are underneath Nick Cave's Until creation that is surrounding us as well. And this is a really powerful piece that speaks about gender and race, equality, and issues, and also gun violence. And with a piece that powerful, it really calls us to do some deep inner self-reflection, which is one of the niyamas, or moral teachings, basically, of yoga, which is called svadhyaya, or self-study. So as we are moving throughout this practice here today, I just encourage you to, yes, be aware of your physical body and your breath, but also notice about what is stirring inside of you, in your mind and in your emotional body. And that will help guide you when you are off the mat in life and doing self-reflection as well. So if you want to have a journal for this practice, go ahead and just set it off to the side. You'll have time after the practice to go ahead and do that. And if you do have a blanket, go ahead and grab that as well, just to prop your seat up. But if you don't have anything, that is totally fine. So we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. You can just move any flesh out of the way, rooting down through the sitting bones, stacking the heart over the pelvis, head over the heart. And then if it feels comfortable for you, just let your eyes gently close. So in these first few moments, just beginning to settle into your practice. And what that means is just becoming aware of initially how your breath feels. So just noticing where the breath is traveling to in the body. Noticing if the breath is shallow or deep. Simply tuning into every inhale and every exhale. And then slowly beginning to deepen and lengthen each breath, and finding a pause between every inhale and every exhale. The breath is one of the most powerful tools that we have at our disposal at all times. It is one of the few bodily functions that just happens naturally without us thinking about it. But we also have the ability to control the breath, to change or alter our inner environment. So we're just using the breath here to begin to just settle down the nervous system and really settle into our body. And then beginning to expand your awareness into the physical body and just noticing how you're feeling. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows. Let the eyes settle and relax back. Cheekbones broaden. Tongue releases from the roof of the mouth as the jaw slightly settles down. And feel the muscles in the throat expanding and relaxing. Shoulders move down the spine. Heart is open. Belly is soft and relaxed. And release any tension or holding in the lower back, hips, legs and feet. Full body awareness from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. We'll take a deep inhale in through the nose, filling the belly up with the breath. And exhale, sigh it out. Gently open your eyes. And then we'll begin to just move the shoulders up, back and down, moving them in one direction, and then beginning to move them in the other direction, so forward, and then moving them back, staying open through the heart. Go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest. And then drop the right ear over towards the right shoulder, grounding down through that left shoulder. And then slowly transitioning to the other side, left ear to the left shoulder, as the right shoulder grounds down. Release the chin back to the chest. And then inhale, rise the gaze back to neutral. We're just going to work on opening the wrists up a little bit, as we will be on our hands and wrists a little bit. So clasping the hands together and just making circles with the hands in one direction. And then in the other direction. Go ahead and shake the wrist out. And we'll bring the hands down to the mat. So the fingers are going to be pointing in towards the body. And it kind of depends on how open your hands are here. So just find a depth or pressure in the hands that feels good for you. And as a reminder, I am simply your guide here for your practice. You know your body best. So if there's anything that I offer that just doesn't feel good, go ahead and find something else. It's okay to be uncomfortable in our practice, but we don't ever want to feel pain. So go ahead and release the wrist, and then bringing the backs of the hands onto the ground, fingers pointing in again. Just rocking gently from side to side. And then we'll release the hands back up, shake that out, and then we'll make our way to all fours. So if you have sensitive knees like I do, go ahead and just spread your blanket out for some protection, and then we'll come to all fours. So on all fours, your wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we're just going to check our alignment here. So spreading those fingertips apart, grounding down through the palms of the hands, press the earth away from you. As you do that, the shoulders are moving down the spine, and then check in with your core and your lower back. So if your hips are tilting up slightly, tuck that tailbone in just a little bit, bringing the belly button into the spine. So just strong core, long spine here. And then extending through the crown of the head, gaze down between the hands. We're going to take 3 full breaths here. Fully active in our body. Your next inhale will guide you into a cow. So hips release up, belly down, chest and gaze forward. Exhale, cat, press the earth away from you as you round and curl through the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. Really feeling an opening in the back of the body here. Inhale, open back up into cow, hips up, belly down, chest and gaze forward. Exhale, press the earth away as you round and curl through the spine. Again, moving with your breath, inhaling to open up. And exhaling, rounding and curling. And then we'll come back to neutral on all fours. And then bring your knees wide, big toes come together. And we're gonna do the same type of movements, but moving between child's pose and lifting back up. So as you exhale, round through the spine and release your hips down towards your heels. And then as you inhale, press back up. And then inhaling, opening up into your cow. Exhale, round and curl through the spine as you release the hips down and back towards the heels. Inhale, rise back up, open up into cow. We'll do that one more time. Exhaling, releasing back. And inhaling, rising and opening through the front of the heart. We'll come back to a neutral spine. Release the knees back underneath the hips. And then we're going to work on some core activation and balancing. So just starting out with releasing the right arm forward, dropping it back down. Inhale the left arm forward. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, right arm extends. Exhale, release. Inhale, left arm extends. Exhale, release. Moving to the legs. Inhaling, stepping back with the right leg. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, step back with the left leg. Exhale, release it in. Inhale, right leg extends back. You can keep the foot on the floor here or lift the leg up, keeping that hip squared and leg parallel with the ground. Exhale, return the leg. Inhale, extending the left leg back. Exhale, release. So now this time we're going to extend, inhaling our right arm forward along with our left leg. Inhale, reaching through those fingertips and through the toes. Exhale, release everything back down to the mat. Inhale, extend right leg and left arm. Again, extending through both limbs. Exhale, return. Inhale, right arm, left leg extends. Exhale, gather back into the center. One more time, inhaling to extend. And exhale, bringing everything back in. We'll go ahead and walk our hands into our body. So we're coming to rise onto our knees. And then you can stay where you are in your mat, but I'm going to transition slightly just so that you can see me better. So we'll bring our hands to our hips, extending the right leg out to the side. So you're really grounding down through the edge of that right foot there. Release your right hand down the leg. Inhale the left arm up and overhead. And then exhale, bring the left hand to the hip, grounding down through that right edge of the foot, inhaling the right arm up and over towards the left. Exhale, return, dropping the hand down the leg. Inhale, left arm lifts up and opens. Exhale, hand to the hip, inhaling, open up with the right arm. We'll do that one more time. Right hand to the leg, inhaling the left arm up, maybe gazing over the shoulder. And exhale, left hand to the hip, rooting down through that right foot, opening up through the right side body, staying here for one full breath. And then coming back to center with the hand on the hip. You can release that knee back in. And we'll bring our hands to our lower back. So you're going to see your palms pressing into the lower back with the fingers pointing up and actively hugging the elbows into the body. So pressing down through those fingers, we're going to inhale, lift the heart and gaze up towards the sky for just a baby camel. Now as we exhale, releasing the arms forward, hugging the belly button into the spine as the hips release down towards the heels. So really tugging that belly button in. Now inhale, grounding down through the legs, pressing those hips back forward, hands return to the lower back. Gather the elbows into the center. Inhale, lift the heart and the gaze. Exhale, releasing the hands forward, hips back, really activating the core here. Inhale, rise back up, hands to the lower back. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, just release the hands back to the hips. And then we'll extend our left leg out to the side this time. So dropping the left arm down the leg, inhaling the right arm up and overhead. And exhaling, releasing back up, hand to the hip. Inhale, left arm up and overhead. Remembering to really ground down through the edge of that left foot. Rise back up, dropping the left hand down to the leg. Inhale, right arm up and overhead. So breathing into our side bodies here, releasing back to the center, hand to hip. Inhale, left arm reaches up overhead. We'll do that one more time. So just moving with your breath here. And then extending the left arm overhead, grounding down through the edge of that foot. Stay here for one full breath. And then inhale, return back up, hand back to the hip, gather the knee back to meet the other. And we'll bring our hands back to our lower back, grounding down through the palms of the hands. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And exhale, hands release forward, belly button tucks back, hips to heels. Inhale, press to rise back up, hands release back to the lower back. Inhale, open up, maybe a little bit more this time. And we want to be really careful that we're not just pressing our hips forward, but rather keeping integrity throughout our spine and through our lift. Exhale, hands forward, belly button to the spine, hips release down. One more time, inhale, rise, hands to the lower back, lifting up through the heart. And you can choose to stay here, or if this pose is familiar to you, maybe moving a little bit deeper, staying here for three full breaths wherever you are. And then your next inhale will release back up. Hands will come back to your hips. And then we'll walk that right leg forward here. So it's really important that in a low lunge, we are making sure that our knee is not going over our ankle, as we're going to cause some knee problems there. So just keep that in mind as we are moving through this. So the hands are on the hips, and then let's just begin to press the pelvis as far forward as it wants to go, and then you can release the hips down slightly here. Hands can come to the leg. We're grounding down through the back of the left foot, extending through the crown of the head. Just take one full breath here. And then choosing to stay here if this feels nice for you, or you can inhale, extend the arms up overhead. From here, pressing into that front foot to release those hips back, so it's just over the back knee. And as we exhale, releasing those hips back forward, the arms are in a goalpost to the side as the heart opens up. And this is just amazing to look at. Inhale, pressing into the foot, hips release back. And exhale, goalposting through the arms, lifting through the heart. One more time, inhale, press and gather in. And exhale, hips release down, open through the heart. Stay here for 3 full breaths. And then pressing back into that front foot. Inhale, lifting through the arms. And exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We're going to shift the hips back as you flex through that front foot, lengthening the leg. You might feel like you need to scoot that leg forward a little bit. That is totally fine to do so. And then the hands are going to frame the leg. We're going to inhale, extend through the spine and through the crown of the head, so creating some space between our heart and our thigh. And as we exhale, the heart releases down towards the leg as far as feels comfortable for you. We're going to pulse with the breath here. Inhale, rising back up, extending through the spine, creating space. And exhale, settling back down into that space that you just created. One more time. Inhale, lift, extend. And then exhale, fold. Heart towards the leg, releasing the chin to the chest. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths, actively tucking that right hip back, flexing the toes, back towards the face, really breathing along the back side of the right leg. One more inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Your next inhale will release those hips back forward, dropping that foot down to the mat. And then hands will frame the leg, release those hips back, just to release that right knee back to meet the left. Walk the hands up. Hands come to the lower back. Inhale, open up through the heart. Exhale, hands release forward, hips release down towards the heels. Inhale, rise back up. Hands to the lower back. Open through the heart. And exhale, releasing back to neutral. Hands to the hips. We'll walk that left leg forward here. So it can take a little moment here just to find stability. That's okay. If you wibble and fall, it's all good. Just get back to it. All right, so then we're going to release and pressing our pelvis forward as far as it'll go, and then you can sink down in the hips. Again, making sure that this front knee is about 90-degree angles with the ankle and not reaching over. We'll bring both hands to the front leg, and then actively ground down through the top of the right foot. Inhale, extend through the crown of the head, shoulders move down the spine. We're just gonna take a moment to pause here and notice what this feels like in the body. And then choosing to stay here, staying with the breath, or inhaling, extending the arms up overhead, and then pressing into that front leg to release the hip over the knee. And as you exhale, releasing that pelvis back forward, goal posting through the arms, opening through the heart. You might find that you have a little bit more openness here now. Inhale, pressing into that foot, hips release back, arms reach up. Exhale, hips release forward, goal post through the arms, open through the heart. One more time, inhale, press and lift up. And exhale, releasing those hips forward, opening through the heart, gaze lifts up. Stay here for 3 full breaths. Relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw. And then your next inhale, pressing into that front foot, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands rain down to the earth. Shift those hips back, flexing through that front foot. Again, if you need to lengthen that leg out in front of you, that's totally fine. Make space for your body, however feels best for you. Hands are framing the leg. We're going to inhale, extend through the crown of the head. And exhale, release the heart down towards the leg. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release heart to leg. One more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen, really creating some space here. And then exhale, settling down into that space, releasing the chin to the chest. Actively tucking that left hip back, flexing the toes back towards the face, and breathing along the back side of the left leg. Just building some gentle fire here in our practice today. Then your next inhale will rock those hips back forward, planting that front foot. Hands come to frame the foot, and then hips release back again, releasing that left leg back, coming back to all fours. Knees will go wide, big toes come together. Inhale, opening up into your cow version here, so hips up, belly down, chest and gaze forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine, sinking those hips back. And then we're going to settle down into child's pose here. So walking those arms forward, forehead will come down to the mat. If this just does not feel good for your body, that's totally fine. You can also come to closed knee child's pose so that the legs are together. Arms can release back behind you with the forehead on the mat, or arms forward. So just finding the shape that feels best for your body. Then taking a deep inhale in, feeling the back of the body expanding with the breath. And as you exhale, releasing your heart a little bit closer down towards the earth. If it feels good, you can relax the eyes. Maybe gently shift your hips from side to side. Or move your forehead from side to side, giving the frontal lobe a little massage. But then working down into a place of stillness. And coming back to that part of the practice where we simply notice. So noticing how the movement has integrated into our body. Noticing how connection to the breath has calmed the mind and the nervous system. If you can or you want to, walking your fingertips forward just a little bit more. Taking a deep inhale in. Exhale, hips sink a little bit lower down towards the heels. Really breathing into either side of the body. Then, in your own time, when it feels good for you, beginning to press and rise back up to all fours. And then we'll just release the legs out to the side, coming down to a seated position. You can just release your blanket to the side as well. So we'll bring our feet about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider if that feels good. Fingers are going to be pointing to the back of the mat. And just begin to rock those knees gently from side to side. And then the next time that your legs fall over towards the left, leaving them there, gaze will fall over the right shoulder. Taking one full breath here. Your next inhale, gather everything back into the center. Exhale, release the knees over towards the right. Gaze drops over the left shoulder. Staying here for a full breath. Inhale, gather everything back in. And then you might need to walk yourself forward on your mat. And we'll just roll onto our back. So hugging your knees into your chest, grounding down through the lower back here. And then just gently rock from side to side. All right, keeping your knees hugging in towards the chest, we're going to release the arms out into a T to either side. Inhale, hug the knees a little bit closer in towards the body. Then as you exhale, releasing the legs, the knees over towards the left. So coming into a twist here. If your right shoulder is lifting up off the mat, gently press into the back of the head to create some space in the shoulders and then dropping both shoulders back down. If that doesn't work for you, just go ahead and release the depth of your twist. It's more important that both shoulders are rooted down into your mat. And then your gaze can be directly up towards the sky, or you can let your gaze fall over towards the right. Again, just staying with the breath here. When you're ready, on your next inhale, slowly bringing everything back into the center. And then exhaling, releasing the knees over towards the right side. Again, grounding down through that left shoulder. Gaze can stay lifted up towards the sky, or it can fall over towards the left. So as you're here, just working on relaxing the muscles in the body. Your next inhale will gather everything back in. And then we'll extend the legs up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and go ahead and just point and flex through the toes and through the heels. Make some circles with the ankles in one direction, and then the other direction. And then this is one of my favorite things to do, just shaking the legs wildly, just releasing all this fluid and built up tension in the legs. Shake, 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 and then when you're ready, just dropping the feet with a thud down to the mat. I don't know why it's so satisfying, but it is. So go ahead and walk those feet wide. Knees will fall in together, coming into broken chair. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. If you want, you can also come into butterfly with the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Again, it's completely up to you. It's your practice. Find what feels best for your body. Letting the eyes drift closed, if that's comfortable for you. And then bringing one hand to rest on the heart and the other to rest on the belly. Noticing as you inhale the rise of the chest and the belly into the hands. And then as you exhale, the falling of the chest and the belly as you release the breath. So just connecting to this simple inner movement that occurs every moment of our day. I think it's Eckhart Tolle that says something about how one mindful, intentional breath can change your day, but regularly taking 3 intentional breaths can change your life. Just a simple reminder of the value of life, of the importance of the breath and the body for all beings on earth. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose, filling the belly up with the breath. And exhale, sigh it out. From here, we'll release our body into Shavasana. So just extending the legs out in front of you. Arms will go wide. If it feels comfortable for you, I encourage you to just take up some space. And then if you do have a blanket, you can wrap yourself up in it. Or sometimes it just feels really nice just to have a blanket just resting over the hip bones. Palms will be facing up towards the sky. Go ahead and tuck the shoulder blades underneath the chest. And close your eyes. Quiet your mind. Be still. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale, let it go with a sigh. Let your next breath be the deepest breath that you've taken all day long. Deep inhale in. And exhale, sigh it out, feeling all of your muscles and bones shifting and shuffling down into the earth. With your next inhale, we're going to Breathe in deeply and hold the breath as we clench through the shoulders, arms, and fists, holding at the top. Then exhaling, releasing tension, releasing the arms, shoulders, and hands. Noticing the energy in the shoulders, arms, and hands. With your next deep breath in, holding the breath at the top as you clench through the hips, legs, and feet. Holding the breath. Hold. Hold. And exhale, release, relaxing the limbs back down to the earth. The next round, we will clench the entire body. So inhale, breathing in deeply, clenching through the shoulders, arms, fists, legs, belly, face, sticking that tongue out. And then exhale, sigh out, relaxing everything back down to the mat. And just noticing what that clenching and releasing feels like in the body. And then bringing your awareness into the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, and the crown of the head. As you inhale, the breath is going to move in through all 5 of these points, meeting at the center of the heart. And as you exhale, the breath releases from heart center back out through all 5 of these points. Inhale, breathing in through all 5 points, sending the breath to the center of the heart. And exhale, releasing the breath from the heart center back out through these 5 points. And continuing that breathing practice on your own. Moving at a pace that feels comfortable for you. And really visualizing and tuning into the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Envisioning its pathways, maybe associating a light or a color with the breath as it moves. And then releasing control of the breath. With your next exhale, feeling the body growing heavy. Sinking deeper and deeper. Given completely to gravity. Feeling the body growing so heavy that you can't even tell where the body and the floor are separated, merging together. Becoming one with the earth beneath you. And then beginning to feel the body growing lighter and lighter. Feeling a lightness in the muscles. Bones are hollow. Feeling so light that you feel like you can slightly lift up off of the mat. Harnessing a sensation of floating. And then settling back down into the body, relaxing everything completely, and settling back into stillness and silent awareness. And slowly bringing your awareness back into the physical body. First, just by noticing the breath. Simply noticing the breath as it moves in and out. And then making gentle movements in the face, fingers and toes. And then bringing one hand back to the heart, the other to the belly again. And with your hands connected with the belly and with the heart, the two places that we tend to move and act from in life, just taking a moment to reflect on your own personal and individual experience in life. And acknowledging how these experiences have carved you into the human that you are today. And then beginning to expand your awareness of those experiences and reflecting on how your own personal experience is not the same of others. It is unique, it is your own. But expanding your awareness to others' experiences and acknowledging that everyone moves through this world in a different way, experiences life in a different way. We begin to create space for empathy in our minds and in our hearts. And when we have empathy for others, that empowers us to act and move and live in a way that creates space for all beings and all experiences. Let's take one more deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly up with the breath, pausing at the top, and exhale, sigh it out, releasing the breath completely. And then we'll begin to bring the knees in towards the chest, and then shifting and rolling onto one side. So we're curling up into a fetal position with the knees hugging in towards the chest and the head resting on the bottom arm, keeping the eyes closed here.
And just feeling this sense of safety and protection that this shape or posture provides. And within yoga, this shape is symbolic of an energetic rebirth. So when we rise, we leave something on our mat that's no longer serving us, it's been weighing us down. And we bring something with us that nourishes us and fills us up. So consider what you'd like to leave behind, what you want to bring with you. And knowing that even if you're not fully aware of what you're leaving behind or what you're bringing with you, that something has been released here today. That space has been created in your heart, in your mind, and in your body. Take one more full breath here. And then with the eyes still closed or softly open, beginning to press up, rising to a comfortable seated position. Hands will come to rest on tops of the legs, with the palms facing up. Rooting down through the sitting bones, stacking the heart over the pelvis, head over the heart. We'll just close with a mini movement meditation. As you inhale, the palms will move up towards the sky, moving with the pace of the breath. And as you exhale, the palms float back down to the earth. Inhaling, palms rise, lifting your spirits, your energy up. And exhaling, rooting and grounding yourself into the earth. Moving through that one more time on your own, really connecting the pace of your movement to the pace of your breath. We'll meet back with our hearts, hands in front of heart center, either into prayer or just pressing the hands into the heart space. Taking a deep inhale in. And exhale, releasing the chin down towards the chest. And just taking a moment to find appreciation and gratitude for yourself for showing up here today for yourself, for creating space for mindful movement and breathing. And committing to yourself of expanding your perspective and understanding of others' experiences in this world. Tapping into that practice of svadhyaya or self-study. Take one more full breath in. Exhale out. And we'll close this practice with deep honor, respect, and gratitude for this ancient practice, for each other, our neighbors, our community, and for this earth that nourishes and supports us. Thank you for practicing with me today.